The steady enchant in fish just got nerfed from 25% increase on progress speed to 15%. And the best enchant in the game, well, formerly, the blessed song enchant just got nerfed from 50% all the way to 30%, and this is horrible. I mean, using the steady rod on almost any of the super OP rods from the update literally gave you crazy amounts of money. But now, since it's nerfed, to be honest with you guys, for a lot of rods, it is not as good as it used to be. So today, I am going to be telling you the best replacement for the steady enchant on every single rod that the steady enchant used to be good on. So no, I'm not going to be talking about like stupid rods like the flimsy rod. I'm going to be talking about rods like the ethereal prism rod that steady was the best enchant for, and that's actually the one we are going to be ending the video with. The first one we're going to be talking about is the Zeus rod. I personally would say before steady was nerfed, steady was the absolute best enchant on the Zeus rod, but now there is a couple options you could go by. Okay, so as you guys can see, the Zeus rod has a lure speed of 70%, meaning if you get swift or hasty, well, I would say definitely do hasty, but if you got hasty on it, it would make it an insta catch no matter what. And to be completely honest with you, since steady has been nerfed, hasty for this rod, the 30% lure speed increase is better than the 15% progress speed increase. So I would say for the Zeus rod, if you guys still have it before it gets nerfed, 100,000% get hasty. The next one we're going to be talking about is the Kraken rod. I know a lot of people didn't use this rod with hasty, but hasty was still a very good option for this rod. Not hasty, I'm talking about steady. Steady used to be a very good enchant for this rod, but now it is 100% clear that hasty is the only enchant you should get on the Kraken rod if you guys are grinding for money. And speaking about grinding for money, this next rod actually doesn't require grinding for money. I'm talking about the Leviathan's Fang rod, because it only costs $1 million, and it used to be a really good rod with steady. And if you didn't know, this is actually the best rod that you can use when trying to catch a Scylla, because it gives you a plus 50% resilience and a plus 4% initial reeling completion. And it also has a stab ability just like the Trident rod, so when you're fishing, it already kind of acts like steady to where you just catch stuff faster. And here's the thing, all right, steady is still a good option for this rod, but not a great option. Here's why. Basically, the resilience is only 5%, meaning, okay, yeah, if steady was still 25%, yes, that would definitely be a good addition to this rod, but since the resilience is only 5%, I would say if you are using this rod for anything besides catching the Scylla, I would say 1000% get the resilient enchant on the Leviathan's Fang rod. It will help a ton. And if you can't get the blessed song enchant, which is actually almost impossible to get, I've been trying so hard, I can't even spawn a Moby. That's how hard the blessed song enchant. But hey, if you guys have a Moby and you want to give it to me, go ahead. But enough of that. If you have the blessed song enchant, yes, that will be better than hasty or resilient for this specific rod in particular. But if you don't have the blessed song, I would say not to get hasty, and not hasty, do not get steady on this rod. Either get hasty or resilience. The next one we're going to be talking about is called the Challenger's Rod, which you can buy for 2.5 million credits, which sounds like a lot, but it is a steal for how amazingly good this rod is. This rod has a 25% progress speed boost, so it actually acts like steady without even having the enchant. And when you added steady to this rod, it basically doubled it and made it so you caught every single fish 2 times faster, which honestly I think is probably one of the reasons why they nerfed steady to begin with, because with the Challenger's Rod, steady was just so OP that fish just got super angry, but it is what it is. I would now actually say 100%. It kind of used to be a debate whether to use clever or steady on this rod, but now that steady has gotten nerfed, I would 100% use clever on this rod if you are grinding for XP. I mean, if you're grinding for money, I might actually even tell you guys to go ahead and use quality, because if you use the quality enchant, not only do you get a buff to literally all of your stats, you also can just just go ahead and use seaweed and still get an insta catch every single time. So yeah, for the challenger's rod, once again, I will recommend either quality if you're not grinding for XP, but if you are grinding for XP, which is probably what you should be doing with this rod, I would say to get clever. Okay, now we're going to be talking about the rod that you get at level 1000. I am talking about the one, the only seraphic rod. So I'm sure all of you guys know when you catch a fish with the seraphic rod, it has this really cool ability where it does this beam of light. And what Steady used to do is make it so the beam of light was almost an insta catch. Mostly if you had Blessed Song, but Steady made it so it was like 75% an insta catch. So you would literally get on the reel, and if it wasn't like a super rare fish, you would literally zoop, immediately catch it. But now that Steady has gotten nerfed and Blessed Song is still literally the hardest enchant to get in the entire game by an absolute long shot, I would say that the best enchant to get on the seraphic rod absolutely depends. Here's why. First off, because me personally, I use Quantum on my seraphic rod because, hey, guess what? I'm already level 1000. I mean, obviously, anyone who needs this rod, anyone who has this rod doesn't need any type of XP. Secondly, I'm just trying to get money. And when you're just trying to get money, Quantum is the best possible enchant to have, at least for the seraphic rod. So, me personally, I would say either get Quantum, or if you cannot get Exalted Relics for any reason, obviously, you can also go for Abyssal. But there is one more you could get, since this is overall an overall rod, like it has overall really good stats. I would say that quality is not a bad enchant for this one. So if you want to get quality on this rod, I won't hate you. That is also a very good enchant, but if your main goal is money, Quantum is the best one you can get. Okay, so the last one we're going to be talking about before the Ethereal Prism rod is the Rod of the Forgotten Fang. So this one actually used to be super OP with either Steady or Blessed Song. But things have changed. All right, now that Steady is like literally nerfed into the ground, no, never get Steady on this rod ever. Never get Blessed Song. Actually, Blessed Song possibly, but yeah, Blessed Song is just a waste of time to get, to be completely honest with you. But I actually have the best enchant for this rod on it already. I would always say get quality, but of course, if you're grinding for XP with it, you're gonna probably want clever. And once again, I mean, I already said about the seraphic rod, but if you are grinding for money with it, you've gotta get Quantum. As you guys can see, I got it on my seraphic rod, but yeah, Quantum, very good money enchant, but depending on the rod. Now to the one and only, the most expensive rod in the game. Yes, I am going to finally talk about the Ethereal Prism rod, and I haven't grinded in a while because as you guys can see, I still have Steady on it, and no, Steady isn't horrible on it with 15%, but I would say if you can't get Blessed Song on this rod, it's just not as OP as it was. Because I mean, if you have Blessed Song, it's still the best enchant you can have on this rod, but since most people can't get Blessed Song, honestly, it's so hard because Steady is still okay. It's not great. Like it used to be great, but now it's okay. So I would personally, honestly, just go for quality on this rod. Because with quality, not only do you get an instant hook, so you'll instantly hook the fish, you'll get more luck, more control, and more resilience, and you know, it'll just make it an overall better rod. If they literally even buffed Steady like 5%, I would say go for Steady on this rod. But since they nerfed it like almost 40% of what it used to be, it's like, brother, I'm gonna probably go ahead and go get quality on this rod just because I'm not dealing with that. Anyways, guys, I really hope this guide helped you guys get whatever enchant you wanted instead of Steady. If there's any questions you guys have, just go ahead and leave them in the comments. I really hope this video helped you guys, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.